I was listening to Kings of Leon. I'm obsessed with that song Pyro right now, just because of the day. It's just the emotion. And I made a post on Instagram that was talking about probably the only hard part, which is not, it's hard, it's challenging, it's whatever, it's an art that's not taught, is when you say yes to your new identity, because struggle with your body, you're struggling to keep the results, to maintain and continue going and building off that. Same with money, realizing that we used to only perform from pressure to show up when we needed something, or with bodies, it was like, okay, vacation's coming up, class reunion, something's coming up. And so that's why we want to get in shape. Photo shoot, something like I remember planning photo shoots just to keep me motivated. And I was like, wow. And I wondered why I got so tired. Holy shit. And part of what we're doing in the Do Nothing Challenge inside of Magic Bee in my spiritual community is the Do Nothing Challenge. Week one was all about these deep feminine expectations of performance improving and where our energy leaks are. And today I made a post about the hardest part about stepping into the new identity of the woman who has a gorgeous body, gorgeous fit, healthy body, healthy mind, spiritual, not fake, not eating green juice and posting about it. She's just deeply, she moves with power. There's no performance aspect of it. She's just that. It's just her. The hardest part about that, I think, for most women is seeing that they have an addiction to the cycle, understanding the reason why you only go all in after you pay 5 grand and then dwindle off or whatever. You're chasing a high. You're chasing, like, you're telling your body, I'm only going to show up if I pay a lot of money, have a vacation, I have something to get ready for. And you wonder why you feel like you need to be motivated. It's because you've been associating the only time you get results is when there's pressure. Same thing with money. It's like you only make a lot of money when you need to make a lot of money. Like I remember when I needed to make a $25,000 house payment, I made the money. And then when I didn't make that amount of money, it's crazy. And you get to a point where you're tired of it. Some people don't. Some people live their whole lives in that paradigm of push, force, work hard, and you die. Like it's just survival. But some of you that are awakening and after you're like, yeah, you haven't given up. But there comes a time when it does look like destruction. Mine was the actual fire. I said yes to feminine work in 2022. I actually said yes in 2021. You followed my story. I started all this. I've been spiritual my whole life. Started the businesses, the companies at 21 years old. Deep scarcity and poverty. My mom grew up in the projects with a single mom type thing. And I still dream about it. Like last night, I actually had a dream about being in the projects. And I didn't grow up in the projects. I had friends that did. But actually dreaming about like my great grandmother's house and lots of dreams lately that are showing me houses that I lived in. And each one of them there's no power. It's destroyed on the inside, like junk, like it's been abandoned. And in my dream, I know I'm not sad or anything. I'm just like, wow, my energy is like, wow, I'm not trying to rebuild it or anything. And that tells me the architecture of my subconscious, that subconscious part of it is done. There's nothing there anymore. It's literally been burned down. And when I said yes to the hidden things in 2021, 2022, I felt, and that's by this time I was making like 2 million a year. Coming from poverty, that's a lot of money, but I was spending so much. I was spending every bit of it, what came in, fucking putting it back into my business, paying for fucking, like I was spending 5K a pop on random tax people, fucking CPAs, accountants, because I was terrified of money. I was like, in my mind, it had to go somewhere. And going back to the weight, it's the same energy. It's like women freak out when they start to feel good when the scale drops because there's an energy that's you're bracing yourself for the grief because you know you're going to gain 5 pounds and that 2 pound win is going to leave you. It's the same with money, same with relationships. And that's why if you don't heal that survival programming, like the underlying energy in the field, your nervous system, if you don't retrain it and you don't learn how to create a life where it's easy to stay fit and healthy, it's easy to make money and maintain it and grow it, hold it. It's easy to have a relationship and mature it. It's not going to happen. Like you had to create everything in your life. Not saying work hard. I'm saying creating. And it's almost like that. What's it called? I don't know what it's called when you move things with your energy and not your hand. If I want to move this cup, I look at it and it moves like that. That's everybody has that ability, not physically, but energetically. And before I get woo and lose you on that, going back to the weight and stuff, I had written that post about just letting it. The hardest thing is you're like letting the old go, like learning truly how to let the old go. Because if you're sad or if you're feeling like these heavy emotions, it's just the old. That's just depression is living in the past. That's all it is. and you don't know how to hold it. You don't know how to process the grief. I didn't know how to process grief. Look, I'd be lying if I said it was easy. What taught me how to process emotions? Learning how to name the emotion, which I teach in Hot Moms AI. I have a beautiful way of teaching women, here's how you're feeling. It's not just happy or mad. Learning how to put an emotion in what you're feeling, like that alone helped me feel so seen and validated. Yes. And then it was just emotional intelligence work. I started doing emotional intelligence work. That changed my life, and learning, understanding trauma. Yes. But knowing about trauma, this is why people go to therapy their whole fucking lives and they don't get any better. This is why people do plant medicine and they're still broke, poor, and sick and broken down. People are powerful shamans and they're not getting what they want. And it comes down to, yes, people rise up and sometimes they need that to find out who they are. I know that there's been a lot of symbolic things that happened for me like that. And my story was, I thought the struggle was required. I thought survival, pushing, forcing, performing, showing up. I've got to be the one that motivates everybody. I've got to be the one to make sure they get it done. It's a whole new level of this codependency energy. It's crazy. And then you look around and wonder why you feel so drained. It's, oh, I was the reason. This is when I was making 2 million and I stopped and let go of my sales team and everything because I was like, if this is 2 million and I'm going to make 10 million, I literally won't be alive. I will die. But it was because I was running the same paradigm of push, force, more time, more of me, giving more. And I had created a clientele that actually rode on that energy. And when I stopped, they completely stopped, which was my story. See, if I don't show up, everything shuts down. No, I just had to create a new way of making money. That's it. Same thing with your body. If I can't eat tilapia and asparagus and show up and do cardio every day, I'm just going to be fat. No, you just have to learn how to create the body you want in a different way. It's actually possible. But going from that to, here's the thing that nobody talks about. When I went from, and the house burned down in 2022, literally was a symbol for destruction, for rebuilding. And when I moved out to California, I couldn't understand why I was so depressed. I'm like, here I am in the most beautiful place, $5 million mansion. Like, it's everything I wanted. Why am I so sad? It was because I finally had let myself rest and feel. And it was years and generations of grief and shame. And I didn't fully know. I knew how to process some, but that's a lot. And if you have these big, heavy emotions and you're like the type A, you need to make sure it all gets done. Now you're going to be forcing it, thinking that there's no time to do that. I need to make sure if I don't do this, everything's going to fall. So that was my 2023, was saying yes to the feminine, yes to the ease, but also I don't know how to do both. I don't know how to merge. And so that this is the year, the 2025 is the year where I am fully embodying the energy of, here's how to do it gracefully. Yes, you're going to have some days where it's some grief, it's some depression. Here's how to move through that. Like with the neutralizers and my AI, it's done. Your HRV goes up, which your HRV is, it's the measurement on where your nervous system is. And I had a client yesterday. She's a legacy client. That means she's been with me for 10 plus years. She had tried to start a business multiple times. And listen, she went from 54,000 to over 300,000 and healed her relationship stuff and all this over those years. But she never could get the traction she wanted. And she's in her 50s. We brought in this HRV, like with the Hot Moms AI plus HRV and our neutralizers. She goes, Casey, I see now why nothing worked. Like, it makes me want to cry. She's like, I see now why nothing worked. I, in 10 days, got my HRV. It was in the teens, up to 30. Things are making so much sense. I'm doing this. I'm doing, like, holy shit. And I'm like, yes. And this was a woman who, like me, was paying every psychic, every medium. We just wanted answers. We were constantly reaching out. So I'm like, what are we not getting? What? And it was that we were in survival mode and we didn't know how. Like, HRV is showing you how and where your nervous system is. And for a long time, I thought, oh, money. Every time I'm making money and feel safe with money, my HRV's up. And that was true. Same thing with people with relationships. Sometimes you're HRV and you only feel safe if you're happy with your husband or partner. Sometimes people, they only feel safe when they feel like they're skinny. And that's external balance. That's external, which means your power is outside of you. It's not inside of you. You have to learn how to create this power inside of you. You got to learn how to be happy now and learn how to energetically detach, release while still showing up to get what you want, to have the body and feel like you can hold it and it's continuing to get better, to create the money, to hold the money, to compound, grow the money, to create this beautiful relationship, to deepen in the relationship, and to create a more mature relationship. It's all the same energy. But the thing that nobody talks about that I've been saying I'm going to get to, but whatever, is well, going from that identity. Okay, how do you go from that to this? It is a slow march ish. It's not, it could be overnight, but it's still not, for me anyway. It's learning how to, what's the old identity? What's the new identity? Because the fastest way to quantum leap is what's your new identity? And we do all this work inside of Magic Bee. If you want that information, just go find Magic Bee Instagram. The sign up link is right there. It is a donation right off because it's a spiritual offer. It's my church. It's an offering for the foundational work that you're going to need hot moms. So you need to go to the CaseyShip.com on the shop course page. It's there, or click the link in the bio on my Instagram. It's there. It's $9.99 for the year or $444 for the 3 months. You need to start with the neutralizers, get your hormones done. Like, you've got to have a healthy conduit, like your body, for the other things to be what you want, because you want it all, right? You don't want just this. You want all of it. You want the body, the relationship, all the things. So the fastest way to quantum leap is this new identity. Who is she? She wakes up. She's not obsessed about food. She actually wakes up. She's happy with her family. She's has energy. She eats on time. She loves the food she eats. She feels great in her skin. She loves her regimen. She loves her body. She gets turned on by her body. That's just who your identity is. So you just keep showing up as that girl. It doesn't matter if you don't look like her yet. You just show, how would she behave? How would she think right now about this? If you knew you were going to if you knew that was actually happening, like your future self, your new identity is it, how would you feel about this stressor right now? You probably wouldn't even be stressed about it. Okay, then drop it. No, in the moments, you're going to have some human moments where you forget. That's the hardest part. And that is the hard part, is you forget. You forget who you are. You forget that future self. You forget all those things. And that's where the neutralizers come in handy. I've noticed when I do a neutralizer every day, my HRV goes up. Even if I made money, didn't make money, had a fight with Skip, doesn't matter. If I do a neutralizer, I'm good, because it's internal regulation. And today, when I was listening to Pyro, Kings of Leon, and I posted that on my Instagram, I'm like, this is it. It's finding liberation through destruction. Because if you look at my life, maybe your life, a lot of us, especially in our 40s and 50s, sometimes even your 25, midlife, quarter life crisis, quarter life awakening, after babies, you feel like destruction. Like, you feel like becoming a mom or grandparent, or your kids move out, you feel like your old world just fucking crumbled and it was destroyed. And that's the part. It's like, how do you sit with that grief and still hold joy, duality, power? That's it. This is what the Hot Moms is all about. That's the deepening work. The surface level is all the things you want: flat belly, pretty shoulders, confidence. That's easy. That's easy. It's very easy. But yeah, that's the embodiment of who you want to be, with the body, the life, the way you look. It's all in the energy. It's all in how you feel about everything. And sometimes it's going to look like destruction. Sometimes you're going to be like, what have I done? Sometimes you're going to look like, what have I done? Y'all, I went from making $2 million a year, living a $2 million lifestyle, to 70, 80, 130,000 a month, and still having bills and stuff that I owed from when I lived that lifestyle, because I didn't know how to hold money. I went from making that money in a certain way to stopping everything. Stopped ads. That way I stopped sales calls. Y'all, that's like suicide in this industry. And it looked like destruction, but I trusted. I knew it was the way. I knew that if it felt that way for me, then my clients and my prospects were feeling it. Think about it. You listening right now, why aren't you working with me? Probably, maybe you thought that it was going to require something of you, more of you. Maybe you thought it was thousands of dollars, and it's not. It's $99. You know, that you're like, oh my God, that's easy. Now you're going to have somebody says, what if I fail? All that stuff is why you need it. Like, it's what you're going to learn how to transcend. But you see how it's easier for you now. You see how the old way would have been like, hey, book this phone call, apply, get on the phone call, it may be $25,000 or maybe $10,000. And I still have packages that are 10K. I still have packages that are 5K, but I'm not selling those really. I still have things that are $2,000 and $5,000, but Hot Moms, and to get everything you want, it's not that. And for me, that feels easy. That feels so good. So many women are like, Casey, thank you so much for making this affordable. And I'm like, yeah, it's easier on me too. Because now you can just get started that day. There's no paralysis of analysis. There's no, money is not the cock block anymore. And that was my frustration. It's, I've got this, it changes their life. It changes their life, their kids' life, their family's life. Like, it shouldn't be this hard. And it shouldn't cost 10 fucking $1,000. I couldn't, not saying you can't pay that. Listen, I have so many women that pay that money, but I don't know. I feel like when you're ready to pay something for 10K, 50K, we've got that too, but that's not why we're talking. The money shouldn't even be in the conversation, to be honest. Money shouldn't even be in the conversation. I'm just saying part of the destruction was me destroying the way I used to make money, but it was liberating. It was liberating. And we'll do another $2 million year, do a 5 million, a 10 million, 25 million, 50 million. But it's going to be in a different energy. It's going to be with a much different nervous system, one with devotion, sovereignty, not performing, not proving, simplicity. The older you get, I've interviewed a lot of older ladies and sages, and they say that it's simplicity. When you get older, when you're in your 80s, all you want is simple. And so many of us think that simple is giving up. Simple is mediocre, and it's not. That's why some people are billionaires. They live by, make sure you surf every day. Make sure I paint every day. And then you've got some in that very like masculine push that's like, you need to make sure your calendar is booked full and you got to make sure you're doing cardio every day and whatever. Both paths are valid, but which one do you want to do? That's the thing. And you get to create any path. You get to create whichever way you want. This is how I teach business as well, a Millionaire Matrix. I'm like, I give all the basics for marketing, the basics for creating systems, but I do not say, here's how you do it exactly. Because I teach intuitive sales and marketing, like what feels good to you? What feels good to you? I actually would like to write and then that do, okay. And I show you how to do that. Same with your body. So how do you want to lose weight? I want to lose weight by then create it. And then whatever in you feels like that can't be, that's too good to be true. That's the thing that needs to be addressed. That's the thing that needs to be addressed. Get on the neutralizer ASAP and start using Hot Moms and address, find out what your blind spots are, find out what the subconscious patterns are, and you just create new because it's showing you the limitations in your subconscious and psyche and energy. And then now you know what they are. And now you actually have the here's how to create a new one. You're like, oh, cool. Click the link in the bio if you are ready. I know you're ready. If you're listening, just even if you get the food test, just get started. Get started so you have answers and you can be of service in this world. Because if you're running around, you're in a rush, you're not happy, you're stressed out, you're not really doing too much for yourself or anyone else. So do us all a favor and take care of yourself. How about that? Click the link in the bio, CaseyShip.com, and I will talk to you soon.